Welcome to In the Room podcast, where we discuss all things marriage. We're your hosts, Gregory and Aisha Ray. Before we dive in, there are a few house rules to be followed. One, be respectful of one's opinion. Two, have fun. Three, make sure you share this podcast all up and down your social media pages.
Good evening, Mama.
Tonight's topic, we will be talking about respect in your marriage. But first, I want to start off with this verse out of the Bible.
Thank you all for tuning in while he's looking for that. We really appreciate you all taking time out of your night every Thursday at 8:30 to kick it with us for maybe an hour in 2 minutes. We appreciate y'all. Hey, Angel.
So, the Bible verse I have for y'all is out of Ephesians 5 and 33. It's Amplified Bible. The Amplified Bible is raw and uncut. Let the wife see that she respects and reverence her husband, that she notices him, regards him, honors him, prefers him, venerates, and esteems him, and that she defers to him, praises him, and loves and admires him exceedingly. And with that being said, respect in the marriage is tonight's topic.
Before we dive in, I like to say that scripture, even though it says husband and the wife, it goes both ways. So the wife should be doing the same thing. I mean, the husband should be doing the same thing.
True.
Okay. That's it. I do you, Deacon Ray. Go ahead, babe.
So, on that note, in order for a marriage to work, you got to work through the bad and the good. Marriage is hard work and dedicated. So, respect. What is respect in a marriage? For me, it's just for me, I feel like respect for each other is key in cementing your love and trust and strengthening your relationship. No matter how much your partner loves you, and if he or she loves you, respects for your opinions, likes, preferences, comfort, and space is vital. I know you need your space for a healthy, sustainable marriage. So, respect.
I didn't hear the question.
How do you feel about respect?
Oh.
What is respect to you in a marriage?
I feel the same way. It also includes compromising, boundaries. Let's see what else. It includes all of that, everything, especially everything you said. But since we started off with Bible verses, I also found one, and it's Proverbs 27-17, and that one says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another," and that can also play with respect. When you respect your spouse and you show them that you respect them and all of that, they will in turn show you the same way. Show you the same thing. I also found Galatians 5:22-23, which talks about the fruits of the spirit, which include love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. I think respect should have also been a fruit of the spirit, but respect also covers all of those. Respect is love. Respect can also be gentleness. It can be goodness.
So for me, how do you show respect in a marriage? I say, like talking openly and honestly.
Hey, Xavier.
With each other. You have to be open and honest with each other. You know what I mean? Through the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? That's one key point for me is talking open and honestly. Another one I have learned about respecting my spouse is I have to listen more to her. You know what I mean? Sometimes I won't listen. I'll just be stuck in my ways. And 2, 3 days later, this conversation we had today, which is true, I come back and be like, damn, baby, you know, you was right or whatever. I was wrong. Another thing, how you show respect in the marriage is by valuing each other's feelings and needs. You know what I mean? You have to, for me, you have to value one another's feelings. You know what I mean? If you feel like that person's feelings is not valid, then it's like there's like this going in circles. You know what I mean? You have to accept that person's feelings. If they say, man, this is my feelings, their feelings are valid, regardless of how you feel about the situation, that person's feelings is valid. Another thing is like she said, compromising. You respect is compromising. You know what I mean? You can't just be woo de woo, blam and blam, this, that, and the other, because it's not going your way. You have to compromise. You have to be willing to like share what the compromise is. You know what I mean? You have to be open to that person's feelings. You know what I mean? Respect goes a long way. Then it's like speaking kindly to one another, not with that, you know, like Proverbs say, wrath brings wrath. I come at you aggressive, like you're gonna do the same thing. But if I come in a calm tone, excuse me, baby, can I, you know, speak with you for a minute? People don't understand it when you go to a situation with your face all twisted up and you know, that's when, you know what I mean, that ain't no respect. You went in there with a closed mind. You ain't went in a situation thinking that this is what it's gonna be. Give each other space. You know what I mean? When something going on, man, disrespect that person. Give them that space. They're telling you, hey, man, I just need a little space right now. You know you married. They ain't going nowhere. You just go right in the living room, chill out for a minute, you know, watch a TV, you know, cook some food, kick with the kids, come back to it. And then another thing for me with respect, because we're gonna dive into these different things, is supporting each other's interests, hobbies, and careers. You know what I mean? So how do you feel about that? Supporting each other's, respecting what one another want to do, you know, and encouraging each other to do what we want to do, building each other up.
I mean, as long as I'm being supportive and everything else will fall in line, I guess. But I want to go back to the listening part. When it comes to respect, we men and women have to be, when it comes to communication, you have to be quick to hear, slow to speak, quick to hear. However we go, you have to. Hey Nashima, you have to because listening is active listening is also a sign of respect. I'm looking at my notes, y'all. Y'all know how I do with my notes. You watch and be quiet when someone else is talking and spend time thinking about what they're saying versus listening to them with already having your response in your head. When you already have that response in your head, you pretty much whatever they saying, I'm gonna use I like to use us as an example. So if he's telling me something and it's not agreeing with, hey Candace, if he's saying something that I don't agree with, instead of me listening, but I already got something in my head, I should be listening to hear what he's saying and to hear his heart. If he's coming at me and telling me something that I really don't like, and I already got something in my head, I already got my response in my head, that really means what he's saying is going in one ear and out the other, and I'm not really listening to what it is he's saying, which in turn is going to have us both arguing, because then when I open my mouth, I'm opening my mouth, not acknowledging what he said, but acknowledging how I feel about what he said, not really wanting to hear what he got to say. Listening to understand and not to respond. Exactly. So what we do is we and one thing I had to get him to understand, and vice versa. If I'm mad and saying something that he don't like, I've learned, I had to get him to learn that we don't have to talk about it right then and there. If for me, I need to walk away and calm down. And if you respect me enough, you will allow that, you allow me to have that time to go calm myself down, think clearly, and then come back to the conversation versus trying to force me to talk about it. That's also another sign of respect when it comes to communication part. Um, it was something else he said. Um, about the opinions, affirming opinions and stuff like that. It let them know that they matter. When you're talking to someone, reinforce the same thing. If we're getting into it, let him know, baby, I heard what you said, and I respect what you said, but hear me out on how I feel about the matter as well. It's it's just another form of um respect. Not only for your spouse, but for yourself as well. So
I feel like it's important in a marriage to respect each other because you recognize the value in each other. If you don't value your marriage or your spouse,
mhm.
you know what I mean? There's no respect. You know what I mean? That's why for me, it's really important. Like I respect you to a T, you know what I mean? And most importantly, I value what you say, you know what I mean, regardless of how you say it, because I will get caught up in how you say it. But at the end of the day, like you say, if I listen, be slow to speak and just listen, you know, it's all about valuing it. You know what I mean? Mutual respect in a marriage is crucial. It gotta be mutual respect, man, on all levels. You know what I mean? Regardless of its boundaries, financial, sexually, communication wise, you know what I mean? Love, joy, peace, you know, all them good things, you know what I mean? Like they don't just stop with one thing. No, respect is man, it hit on all cylinders in life, period. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You have to respect one another. So, you know, then it starts with trust, support, you
Mhm.
know, without a shadow of a doubt. You know what I mean? You gotta respect each other. You know what I mean?
So I have a quick, because you mentioned trust. So my question would be to you and to those who are watching. Thank you for tuning in. When it comes to trust, in order to trust your spouse, since we talk about marriage, you have to, in order to respect them, there has to be some type of trust. So I feel like if you don't respect them, that's because you don't trust them. So what you think about that?
That's kind of like a twofold.
Why?
Cause you said if you don't
I'm
trust
we talking
them,
about marriage.
right? Because you said if you don't trust them, that means you don't respect them.
Right.
Sometimes with the trust and the respect, why I say a twofold, sometimes people might have trust issues. They might respect you, they just got trust issues. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. If you think about it,
Right.
that's why I say
I
it's
agree.
twofold. So it's like a yin and a yang. You know, everybody, everybody's just different though. I trust you, I respect you. If I didn't, I wouldn't be sitting right here.
My point exactly. That's
So
exactly why I said
you know what I mean?
if
Two
I
different
don't trust
things.
you,
Right.
it is two
That's
different
why I say it's like
things,
a
but
twofold.
it is. I mean,
Nah, how you felt about it? You asked it, so you must have had a like.
but that's how
Oh,
I feel. My opinion, because that
okay.
also talked about affirming opinions.
Right, right,
So my
right,
opinion
right.
is, I feel like in order for me, there has to be a certain level of trust for me to respect you. And I just said two different things. So I it is two different things,
I got
but
it. I got it.
it's two different things. But in my opinion, it is still the same. I mean,
So somebody asked me, what is disrespect in a marriage? When you don't value each other, and you feel like y'all ain't equal. So that's
oh wait,
that's when
I'm still I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry because there has been situations to where there has been situations where it has been said, not between you and I, but okay, not I'm not even gonna go that way. But so my question is, how can you trust somebody that you don't respect? I see people saying it's two different things. You said it's two different things. It's twofold. But if I don't trust you, why should I? I mean, if I don't respect you, why should I trust you?
I don't have to like you, but I respect you.
But you didn't say trust. We talking about trust and respect.
But that's two different things, though.
Right.
But
right.
Because people probably want you to
Say
expound
easy.
on it. Easy, that part.
I'm trying to
That's-
figure out how can I it just don't make sense to me. If I trust you and I respect you, but if somebody walking down the street, if I don't trust you, why do I need to respect you if I don't trust?
Because it might be an older person. You respect them to get out their way. If they're walking up the street, you don't think an older person to do you something, so you'll trust them unless they do something. See, look at the respect. If I'm walking up the street and I see you, an old lady, oh, look at that old lady right there. You might have a gun trying to rob me or something, but I respect you and I get out the way. You talk, give it up. See what I'm saying? Respect, trust.
But we're talking about marriage. We're not talking about people outside. We're talking about within a marriage.
Within a marriage. So first and foremost, in order for to lose respect for a person, that means you don't value that person no more.
Bingo. So if I don't value you, what is the point of me trusting you?
But that's what I was saying when you went back to it. That's what I was telling you. The disrespect or the respect comes from when I don't value no more. We are not. You feel like we're not equal no more.
So are you saying that it's possible to not value somebody, but you still respect them?
No, you can't. How can I value and respect
that is
you?
what I'm saying.
But value and trust that's two different things. It's still two different things.
We agree to disagree. I mean, I just feel like if I don't trust
have anything to do with one another,
it doesn't. But what I'm saying is
that's why everybody asking you help us, because whatever's going through your head with the trust and respect, it got to be making sense on some point.
It makes sense.
But you're not going there anyway. Respect.
I did just explain it. Right. I said for Naisha, like I'm gonna use Angel. I trust Angel, therefore I'm going to I have a certain level of respect for her. He calls. I have a certain level of respect for Angel because I trust her. Or I trust her, therefore I'm going to have a certain level of respect for her. I trust you, so I'm going to have a certain level of respect for you.
So in marriage, that's why I went to my notes. In marriage, where do you lose that trust for someone? That's my question to you. In your opinion, where do you lose that trust for someone? Help the listeners.
So in my parents' experience, I lost trust when things kept happening that broke my trust. And this is where I'm going with the respect thing. So when the trust was broken. Therefore, in my head, I don't trust you. So what am I respecting you for? You haven't given me respect. So what am I respecting you for? You broke my trust.
You being disrespectful.
You broke my trust. You being disrespectful.
Okay, you gave us, but you ain't. That's what we was asking you for. That's what we asking you for.
Disrespect.
You
disrespected me. I just said there's been time when my husband did things and I didn't respect what he did. However, I still trusted him to do all the other things he's required to do. He may have lost my respect in a season, but I trust him to be the man that he still is. Hold on, y'all. I'm good. There's been times when my husband did things and I didn't respect what he did. However, I still trusted him to do all the things he's required to do.
You can see that?
Put it so everybody can see it. Then she said, he may have lost my respect in a season, but I trust him to be the man that he is. I still know he's going to do anything I need. Then Chantel said, in marriage, I respect my husband, but the mishandling of my feelings or a certain situation can break my trust. And I agree with all of y'all. They just explain how you can still have respect and the trust may be broken within the marriage. But for me, I don't see how if we at a point to where I no longer trust you, what respect is left?
So why hang
Where is the
around?
respect? My point. That's the point I'm really
So why
trying to
hang
get at. If
around?
you don't trust me, you don't respect me. Why hang around? And that's why it's making sense to me. Candace said, I'm late. Are we asking if you can respect someone you don't trust? Yes. And my answer is no. You should show respect to everybody. But if you break my trust and have disrespected me, why should I give that back?
Someone equal spouse, yes. That's what we're talking about.
Yes,
We're
because
talking
we're talking
about
about marriages, not outside of
respect
marriage.
in the marriage. And she brought up trust in the marriage.
No, you said trust. So I wanted to talk about
Angel,
both of
I
them.
agree with you. Anyway.
No way, it don't go together, but it's making sense in my head.
Well, a lot of things make sense in your head. That's why you're unique in your own way.
Okay,
But
so back to what you were saying.
Back to what is disrespect in the relationship? Like I say, a disrespect relationship is one in which people don't feel value and equal. It might be a relationship where one person is treated unfairly or even experience abuse. So a child might don't feel like a relationship is disrespectful to start with, or they might misinterpret signs. So you know what I mean? Like you just gotta be respectable. You can respect your spouse as your spouse and not trust them.
That's true. But for Naisha, if you disrespect me, the respect has gone out the door. If you mishandle my trust, if I don't trust you no more and you have disrespected me, that's out the door.
So to me, for me, disrespect in a marriage is nagging, criticism, stonewalling, lying, put downs, pressuring the other, disloyalty, threats to end the relationship or marriage. To me, that's disrespect. I can respect you as my husband, but you as a man, boy, please.
I can respect you. So what? So let's talk. I want to get on these comments. Let's talk about them right quick before we go back to our notes. Hold on. Candace said, "I can respect you as my husband, but you as a man, boy, please." So I wish I can bring you in. I want to hear, what do you mean? I can respect you as my husband, but you as a man, you don't respect. Now that don't go together. So that I want to understand that. Hold on.
Baby, we got
No, because we want to engage the comments, and that's what I want to understand that.
thank you. That's why you like that don't
Right, but y'all saying what I said don't go together. It makes
but that don't make sense neither. I can respect you as my husband, but as a man, boy, please. That don't make sense. You might as well don't respect the man at all, period. Why you gonna get respect as a husband, but as a man, no? So that means if y'all get a divorce, that means because he a man now, you don't respect him. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense.
And to her, that might make sense in her head.
Thank you. But as I said, disrespecting the marriage, for me, the lack of respect. That means that you're treating each other rude in disrespectful ways. You do not engage, you engage in name calling, insults, demean your spouse. That's disrespectful. I never demean my spouse. In public, as she say, or right here. She said, if you disrespect me in public, you better apologize to me in public. But if you disrespect me behind closed doors, you can apologize to me in closed doors. So it's like I never disrespect my wife. You know what I mean? Like I might give her a look, but I ain't gonna never disrespect her. Like, you know what I mean? Because some of y'all women, y'all bad. You got some men that's bad too. So I ain't gonna just blame it on the women, because you got some men that's bad too. But for me, man, I never disrespect my wife. No way, no shape, form, or fashion. Now we might get in a little nagging match or whatever, but my nagging is different. So she gonna nag me behind some orange juice all night, but that ain't disrespect though. So
Lord Jesus Christ. So I just want to say this really quick. I don't know if you said something along the lines of this, but an example of respect in relationship is healthy relationships, mutual respect, um, positive behaviors. I think didn't you say this?
Mhm.
Positive behaviors and listening to your partner's feelings. Yeah, you said this. So I mean, what you about to say or ask?
No, I support you. I respect your boundaries. You know,
So let's talk about that. What is respecting boundaries when it comes to a marriage?
respect and boundary that come to the marriage. So let's go back to respect and a trust. I'm gonna go back, Angel. You might have to help me with this. You know, you got some people that got trust issues. So they like this here. He
Hold
said
on.
the sky purple in public. I'm a stick. What?
Chantel said, if he say the sky is purple in public, I'm gonna stick beside him, but behind closed door, sir, I'm gonna roast you.
Listen. You made me get out what I'm about to say with these comments, but
you finna say trust, baby, in the circle with boundaries. That's
with boundaries. So this is a boundary. You got some people that be like this here. Trying to see all up in there because you know what I'm saying? Because you scrolling or whatever, doing the social media thing. Are they all up in your space? They're trying to see why you smell like that? Where you going? Woo, woo, woo. Oh.
Angel said, is this the way to come on with it? Is it a way to come on with you? I want to explain this so bad. Let me keep going. Anyway. I'm going to send you the link to join.
I just feel like, what I mean? For me, I feel like in a marriage, both couples deserve the respect for one another.
Mm-hmm.
No one should feel or be more superior than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because of a situation or what it may be. You know what I mean? I'm not going to disrespect you because I make more money than you. I'm not going to disrespect you because I'm taller than you or throw my weight around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to disrespect you by using words to tear you down. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's just like, it's just certain, it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. You know what I mean? When it comes to respect, you know what I mean? RESPCT, you know what I mean? Respect. I got so many meanings for respect. Like, it's just crazy. Like I say, man, when I feel like when you start disrespecting, I'm gonna keep saying this. When you start disrespecting your significant other, that means you lost value in your marriage. So what are the values? You have to go back to what are the values in your marriage? What made you marry this significant other?
Right.
You know what I mean? Go back to the root. People always want to, when they get into it, they say, I don't respect you no more. You go to talking crazy and doing all this. No, I'm gonna go back to why I value you.
Mm-hmm.
What are my values in my marriage? Or what are my values in my relationship? What are my values to this family? You know what I mean? Because when I married you, I married into the family. You know what I mean? So if I disrespect you, that means I'm disrespecting the kids. You know what I mean? So I ain't trying to disrespect the kids, because if the kids see me being disrespectful to you, they're gonna also be disrespectful to you. So I know me, I'm a respectable young man, because if June Evelyn hear me being disrespectful to you, she might drive all the way from Alexander, and we don't need that happening. So, you know what I mean? I always say this: I respect women. But if you act like a, I'm gonna treat you like a. But if you act like a woman, I'm gonna treat you like a woman. That's respect. You see what I'm saying?
Right, but you heard what you just said. If you act like this, I'm gonna treat you this way. But if you come to me with respect,
that's why I said
I'm gonna treat you with respect.
But go ahead.
Never mind. Because I was about to say trust them. You don't even know. You don't trust them. You don't even know them to trust them. But if they act this certain way, you're gonna treat them this certain way. So I guess yeah. Angel, if you're on, I sent you the invite link.
What are signs that your partner doesn't respect you? Somebody asked me that.
Which is you.
I'm gonna say it again. They belittle your feelings.
Yes.
Give you the silent treatment. You know, that's disrespect to me.
Hey,
you
Miss
give me
Sandy.
you give me the silent treatment. That's disrespect because I'm talking to you.
Wait, so that goes back to, so let me ask you this. So have you ever felt I disrespected you when we're having a conversation, a heated conversation, and I tell you, and I don't say nothing, but I need my space to go calm down. And I tell you that, baby, I don't want to talk about it no more. Let me go over here and I'll come back to it. Or I won't say nothing now. And I've told you several times, if I don't say nothing, that's if we're getting into it and I don't say nothing, that's the best thing for me to do is not say something, because I don't ever want to get to a point to where I say something that is, number one, disrespectful, and it's gonna be something that I regret. So it's best for Naisha to just not say a word until she calms down. So would that be so have you ever felt that I disrespect you by telling you, give me a moment, let me go calm down, or ignoring you? Because that's the best thing for me to do.
Yeah, because I'm talking.
So back then, would you have rather me go there just to because I feel like that's an ego thing. I'm talking to you, so you need to respond.
Right, because that's one of the things I was gonna mention too.
Right. So that's an ego problem versus feeling like I'm being disrespected problem. Because if your wife has told you, give me a minute, let me go calm down, because I don't want to overstep. I mean, I don't want to step into the lane of
being disrespectful
and having to eat my words. Let me go calm down.
But I think that's an ego thing too, because you in a situation, you know I got something to say, and you would just ignore me, just be quiet because you don't want to talk. That's when your pride kick in too, because you know I'm trying to talk, and you like, I ain't about to answer.
But no,
you.
I don't. This is we talking about back then, y'all. We don't do that no more. But what he's saying is there has been times when he's talking to me, and when Gregor talks, sometimes he'll talk and my blood be boiling. And back then, when he saying something in I'm boiling in the inside, I'll shut down. When somebody done piss me off, I shut all the way down to avoid going off. And when I shut down, it's best for me to shut down because I don't want to eat nothing that I spew out. So to avoid that, let me go over here by myself and calm down and come back to the conversation later. So, but he tells me being disrespectful.
There she go, y'all.
Well, hello.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
I don't have my AirPods on. Yeah, because I needed to, so I could not type this. So you was wearing me out over here. So this is what I mean by that. So I don't believe the two go together for the simple fact is this. I'll use me and my mother's relationship for an example. So it was tons of periods in me and my mother's relationship where I had no respect for her at all. I couldn't respect. We couldn't have a serious conversation. It was so much unforgiveness between us, bitterness, brokenness, and things of that nature. However, even though we didn't have respect for each other, I still trusted my mother. If I was to need my mother to do something, to go pick up my kids, to come do, my mama is coming through. So the respect level has nothing to do with trusting a person. You still know who this person is. So you can't intertwine the two. I may have not had respect for her or the way she moved, the way she spoke, the way she handled things, but it didn't take away the fact that I know that if push come to shove, if I call my mother, even if we're not speaking, and I say, Mom, I need you to go get my kids, I can't get them. My mama is coming. I trust her to be mother. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean about the two can go together. Now, and I know y'all talking about in marriage, but it's the same thing. Realistically, it's the same thing. Even in periods of my marriage when I may not have had respect for my husband or he didn't have respect for me, rightfully so. If I hurt him, offended him, he hurt me, offended me. At the end of the day, he know if something was to happen or come through, he know he can call me. He trusts me to do that. He trusts me that even when he wrong, I'm gonna have his back. Now I might cuss him out in the car, but it's together. I got your back, and that's just how it goes. So that's
Right.
what I mean by that. The respect thing can be broken, but I still trust, and you have a level of trust for me as well to know that I'm gonna come through for you despite of whatever you did. So that's why I said the two don't go together, because it can be a period when the trust can be broken, but I still respect the fact that you're a good father. You may have broken my trust because you did something, in our marriage or in our household, but I respect the fact that our kids are going to come first. So that's why I say that the two don't always go together, because it can just be a season. Just because that's going on does not mean that, first and foremost, that that's permanent. Now, if you just got trust issues, period, you ain't going to just be in a relationship. If you just walked in the door talking about you don't trust people, that's a problem. But in a marriage, if the trust has gotten broken, or the respect, you have lost respect in the area, it doesn't take away from who that person is. They broke something in that season, but it doesn't take away from their overall character. So I definitely couldn't type all of that. So I hope that makes more sense.
It makes sense. I mean, it does make sense, and that's why I said I agree with y'all.
I was explaining what I was saying.
Hey, what's going on?
What's that?
Oh, y'all got it.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so I just wanted to come on and say that because I wanted to bring clarity to. I couldn't type all of that, so I hope that made more sense to you what I was trying to say.
It did.
Okay.
Then what you were saying?
I agree with her. That's what I'm saying. It don't really it can't intertwine like a twofold. You know what I mean? Like trust and respect is two different things.
Right.
So you know what I mean? So I had a question that I want you to answer for me. Because somebody might be listening and they might need this answer from you. So the question is, because people are texting me on the side, they asking, they watching, they tuning in. So I'm gonna ask you. I have an answer for it, but I'm gonna ask you as a woman. Can a marriage survive without respect? That's you know what I mean? That's I received this and I'm asking the question. They say ask your wife. Can a marriage survive without respect? Because
based on what Angela just said, yes. Yes, because I trust you to know that you're going to do the things that needs to get done. What your answer is?
I feel like a marriage without respect can cripple the love in the relationship.
It can. But does that take away from trusting? I know that we talking about respect, but since we just got off of the trust part,
that's why I kept it. That's why I kept it. The person, that's why they looking at the respect thing. So I kept it at respect.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's like, say, God forbid, say we was to get a divorce and you really, really needed somebody to come to you like, dang, I don't want to call Gregory, but I know without a shadow of doubt, this man gonna come through. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they wanted to keep it at respect, because if you don't respect that person, that cripples the marriage. It hurts the love. You know,
it does hurt the love. It does hurt the marriage. Can a marriage be saved? Yes, but that comes with seeking counsel to figure out how can it work. Like I tell all my friends and even Gregory, I'm not one to advocate for the D word, divorce. You're not going to hear that from me unless I know for a fact that both sides are at the ends, rope's end. Even in that moment, I'm still going to try to make sure y'all don't go that route. But if the respect is gone,
excuse me,
I don't know.
So the next question was, they asked me, what happens when a wife loses respect for her husband? I feel like if a wife loses respect for her husband, I'm a no. I feel like I'll be able to pick up on attitude, things with a changing. You know what I mean? What you worrying about it for? It's this little telltale sign. You've been around a person for so long and you feel like it's just going left, or it's, like hey, hold up, something ain't right, you will be able to pick up on the
Mhm.
disrespectful little cue. Like it'll be condescending little things. You know what I mean? Like this, like they say, picking, nagging,
Mhm.
just trying to find any little thing to just get into it with it. Just, you know what I mean? Like the respect is just out the door. You know what I mean? Or they fighting with kids' gloves on, throwing temper tantrums and all that, just trying to get their way. You know what I mean? So what is the most important rule in marriage when it comes to respect for you?
Communicate. I'm gonna always take anything we talk about. I'm gonna always go back to communication, because if you have an open communication and you actually sit down and talk without the yelling, without the shade, without the already coming back with an answer, with just literally sitting down, taking time to talk about the issues, and not only talking about them, but accepting what the other person said, because like he said in the beginning, everybody's feelings are valid. Everybody is entitled to their own feelings. So who am I to tell you to feel a certain way? So if we going through anything, I'm gonna always say communication.
So by us being in this long-term commitment, which is marriage, I think the respect can be more important than love, because we do have to live together till death do us part. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, it's like respect is about honoring each other's differences. You know what I mean? We love each other without a shadow of a doubt, but we still have to respect each other's differences. You see what I'm saying? Because it might be something that you do that I don't like, and I do something that you don't like, but we respect each other.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times I feel like when people start disrespecting, do the disrespecting in the relationship, it's like they not looking for the long term in the marriage. You know what I mean? Because marriage is long term.
You're supposed to be.
It is.
I say it's supposed to be because there's a lot of people who just want to give up at the drop of a dime. So, and some have given up at the drop of a dime.
Right,
So,
because like for me, respect is like understanding one another. You know what I mean? It ain't just like for us. If nobody didn't know our story, or if you never gave them something, they'd be like, oh no, you should just marry somebody, you know, fresh home. Don't even know the boy.
right.
Because they don't know, not understanding that we've been had a mutual respect for one another. Our differences, we already know each other's differences and still learning more differences. You know what I'm saying? So that's the respect that we have for one another. Nobody can tell me, well, I know Naisha, you don't know him as good as me, because I feel like regardless of how long I've been gone, I know you.
Mm-hmm.
I live with you. So I get to pick up on things that you do. I respect your boundaries. I respect your space. I respect, your passions, your desires or whatever. You know what I mean? Like people have to be on one accord when it comes to, different things or whatever.
So I want also want to speak on something else when it comes to that. Respect is we have to learn to apologize. When you apologize, it shows of it's being mature for one. And it apologizing is also showing respect. What am I trying to say?
Take your time.
if you do something, saying I'm sorry goes a long way. Saying I'm sorry does go a long way, but it goes a long way when you don't go back and do the same thing over and over.
Right.
And it also, apologizing goes a long way when you don't make excuses for yourself and you own up to what you did. They're not only respecting our marriage, but respecting yourself. So I just want to say that when it comes to apologizing, even though I'm one to say, right, with actions, like he already know. I'm sorry doesn't work for me. And let me go back. I'm sorry the first time works for me, but when you continue to do the same thing over and over and over, it no longer means anything to me. So now I need to see action. So I just wanted to say that. Apologize, folks. Women, if you know you did something wrong, just apologize.
So
Men, if you did something wrong, just apologize.
so how do
Communicate.
you react? How would you react if you feel I disrespected you? Give some tips on how would you react. Would you come back with disrespect, or would you come back with respect and try to calm the situation down?
So I'm just gonna be honest. So at first, this goes with what I was saying to give me time to calm down. So at first, if you within our marriage, because there has been times that my mouth went places it shouldn't have went, and I got disrespectful back. But now I'm learning not to do that. To think about what it is I'm about to say before letting disrespect come out of my mouth. Because again, I don't want to be the one to have to go back and eat them words. I don't want to be the one to have to come back and apologize. So let me just take my time to think about what it is I want to say instead of getting fly or instead of getting disrespectful back. Because both of us being disrespectful is not going to solve anything.
Right? I feel like when that happens, you feel like your spouse is disrespecting you. I feel like you should avoid statements like you never, you always, you should. Like you never should tell a person you always or you should, like telling the person what to say or how to say it. You know, a lot of people have that to me, that's a sign of disrespect. You want me to say what you want me to say, how you want me to say it, instead of letting me express myself how I feel like it should be expressed, coming from me. You see what I'm saying? Because if you telling me what to say and how to say it, like, hold up, is this for you or is this for me? Because I feel like you disrespected me.
So I have a question about that. So because you're saying if you should be able to express certain things how you want to express and not how somebody telling you should express them.
Right.
So with that, I agree with that to a certain point.
Okay.
Because when it comes to certain situations, your words can what's the word I'm looking for? Your words the way you express yourself can make the situation worse than what it already is. So what's wrong with someone coming back saying, if you say it like this, like somebody would be able to accept it better. So let's use an example. We keep it in. I'm gonna use the kids. Then I'm gonna think of an example for marriage. So with the kids, so I'm gonna use King as an example earlier. So I stay telling the kids, keep the house clean, get the house clean, get the house clean. So King earlier was crying. He broke down crying, and he was like, "My head is hurting." First of all, King doesn't feel good, right? So King. So I'm gonna go back. King had a fever yesterday. I went to go pick him up from school. Now, when you have a fever and you don't feel good, you want to come home, you want to lay down, you want to take your medicine, you want to rest. King decides he want to go outside when he got home yesterday. Okay, go outside because he think he feel better because I gave him some Tylenol. So now he think he feels better. He wants to go outside. Told him, King, you're not feeling better. You need to lay down. He was like, Mama, but I feel better. Okay, son, go outside. So then today, now because he had a fever yesterday, he has to stay home for 24 hours before he can go back to school. So he was home all day today. He did what he had to do, took his medicine, he had his soup, drank his orange juice, all of that. By the time the girls got home, he now wants to go outside. King, you need to lay down and get you some rest. He goes outside anyway because King is strong-headed. He feel like he feel better. He want to go outside. So I let him go outside. So then when it's time to come in, he comes in dragging, don't feel good. So I'm like, son, he sits on the stairs. I'm like, son, what's wrong? He was like, nothing, my head is hurting. I was like, your head is hurting because you don't feel good. Your body does not feel good. And it's trying to tell you that. But And the same time me telling it, I was already irritated because plates left on my table, my house not clean. So now I'm yelling. So when I'm yelling, I see him and I'm like, son, what's wrong with you? My head hurt. You, like I just said, your head hurt because you need to rest. Go take a bath so you can lay down. Instead of him going to take a bath, he goes to sit at the top of the stairs, steady rubbing his head. So I'm like, son, what's wrong? And he was like, my head is hurt because you're crying. I mean, you're yelling and doing this and that. So I'm like, so now I got to start yelling even loud. I'm like, so now you're trying to blame me as to why your head is hurting when I've been telling you your body, your head is hurting because you don't feel good, yet you want to run outside. I said all that to say, instead of me yelling at him, he just expressed to me his head is hurting because I'm yelling at him. On top of him not feeling good, his feelings are, you yelling at me is what's causing my head to hurt. Instead of me taking a step back and being like, okay, King, I understand you don't feel good, and taking another route with communicating with him, I decided to keep yelling and my voice elevated even higher. You understand what I'm saying? I could have took that moment. I always use my kids as an example. I could have took that moment and calmed my own self down and said what I needed to say to him without yelling and without causing any more headaches. Even though I feel his headache is not my fault, because hey, he just rests like I told him to, his head wouldn't have been hurting. The whole point of that I'm saying is I could have communicated what I had to say better than the way I did. But instead, I felt disrespected because he telling me my head hurt because you yelling. Does it make sense? He gonna say it don't make sense, but to me, that's just a good example. You, instead of telling King how he should feel, I should have been saying, okay, son, I understand it, but let me explain this way. I could have went a whole nother way.
Okay. So,
and I just want to say it's the same thing. It's the same thing in marriage. If you're coming at me aggressively because that's how you feel, and then I come back and tell you, baby, you could have said that another way. You didn't have to come at me like that.
Okay.
Even though you expressed to me the way you expressed to me, you should be able to also accept that the way you came at me was aggressive, and you should be able to fix that and not feel like it's disrespect.
Okay.
And not feel like I'm trying to change how you feel, because I'm only expressing to you how you made me feel by coming at me like that.
Okay. So I heard you. I feel you. So I'm gonna get back to respect within a marriage, because that's tonight's topic. And I hear what you're saying about the respect. You should respect what you say, but kids are disrespectful. They think they know it all. They want to do what they want to do. But I got a question, and I need your honest answer. I have my answer. I always have my answer. I'm playing chess right now with this respect in the marriage, because I really want to help somebody tonight. Whoever listening, whoever watching, whoever go back and listen, like, comment, share, whatever. How do you restore respect in the marriage?
Give you an answer.
Okay. Well, I was asking my co-host.
I told you my thing is going to always go back to communicating.
For me, how do you restore respect in a marriage? For me, say what you mean and mean what you say. That's one. Have clear values. Go back to having clear values. Another thing is have a life outside of your relationship. Meaning, like we talked about last week, that me time. You know what I mean? Because when you run into somebody all the time, you start feeling some type of way. Listen well, make independent judgments and decisions. If you feel like this is what's best for us, then make it and stand on it. And help me understand why you made that decision. You have to act respectfully. That's how you gain that back. And what I mean by act respectfully, greet your significant other with love, kindness, gentleness, reverence. That of nature. Change reactions.
I'm glad Angel said change reactions, because even though we're talking about marriage, you still skipped over what I said.
No, I wasn't skipping
about feeling some type, about being
disrespected.
So
you feel like King disrespected you?
I'm not talking about necessarily King. What I use King, the situation with King, as an example of, instead of me acknowledging his feelings, I felt disrespected and tried to push how I felt on him instead of acknowledging how he felt. I use that as an example because you said you feel some type of way if somebody trying to change how you express your emotions and how you express your feelings. So if you coming at me and telling me you feel some type of way about this, and then I come back and be like, that ain't my problem. Instead, that means if I come at you like that ain't my problem, that means I didn't hear your feelings and I didn't accept what you said. Instead, I came at you in a negative way instead of taking a step back and being like, well, I apologize for how I offended you. I mean, I apologize for trying to, whatever the situation is.
So I feel like you was disrespected for one. And I hate talking about stuff like this when it comes to kids.
I only use that as an example.
And I know, but since you say I got off a topic, and I'm gonna stay on topic with you for this very reason. For one, you sick. You don't need to be outside, no way. But because you let him, he want to be so strong-headed, that's a sign of disrespect. So your feelings was valid regardless if you raised your voice or not. For me, that's why I got off the subject.
Right, but the reason I even brought that up is because you said you don't like when you expressing yourself in a certain way, and then I will come back and tell you should have said it this way. The only reason I brought that, because that was a great example of what happened. He was expressing his feelings to me, and instead of me acknowledging that, I went off and tried to change how he felt. I only brought it up as an example of what you said.
But I feel like I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna stick to this. It's not your fault his head was hurting. It's not.
Right, it's not.
So how did you? I'm trying to fathom
because we just talked about emphasizing with feelings and stuff like that. You basically what I was saying when I brought up King, he was expressing to me his feelings and his emotions. Instead of me going a different way and talking about that, I yelled. It's the same thing. Instead, when you coming at me and you trying to tell me something, you coming at me aggressive, you don't like when I tell you, baby, you should have said it this way. But the way you said it made the situation worse.
But okay, let's go right there. Let's go right there. If a person come at you a certain way, it's for a reason. A person not gonna just come to you. If I feel like you ignoring me, I'm gonna come at you aggressive. Say, man, what are you doing? Because I'm trying to get your attention. You clearly ignoring me.
Right.
That's when aggressive comes in.
Right. And that's why I also said you coming at somebody aggressive because you think they just go back to me and you when you used to come at me how you came at me, and instead of me coming back at you like that, I stepped back to gather myself, or I would listen and don't say a word because I'm listening to you. But when I used to get quiet so I can hear what you're saying, you took that as me ignoring you. when that wasn't the case. I was being quiet so I could go over here, or I was getting quiet so I can hear you. But you took that as me ignoring you, which caused you to get even more. So that's what I'm saying. So in certain situations, maybe you should, or people period should just take a step back instead of thinking, oh, you ignoring me, so I'm gonna come in. Instead of thinking somebody's ignoring you, look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture was she wasn't ignoring me. She was just she was just trying to figure out how to handle the situation. I don't know if it makes sense to me.
A lot of things that's why I say people are entitled to their opinions. Period. On how they feel about things. You're gonna have your opinion, I'm gonna have my opinion. That's just the way it goes. A person might feel disrespected. You have to understand each individual is different when it comes to respect. If I come home from a long day of work and I come in that room and I feel like I should be able to get that 5-10 minutes. You've been cooped up in that room doing whatever you do all day. I shouldn't have to be, golly, man, I'm here. I'm here. When if a person feel like they have to be aggressive with you, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? That's like a sign to some people that feel like a sign. That's like if you come on and I'm just laying around and playing video games. That's a sign of disrespect. You greet you at the door and then don't come see how you're doing. That's a sign. That's a sign. You have to look. You have to understand how a person may feel. Because I'm quick to say, man, what are you doing? That's my favorite line. When I feel like I ain't getting what I need from you at that time, hold up, man. I'm not gonna say it can be a sign of disrespect. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I need what I need. It says that a sign of respect is in marriage, a person need what they need from their husband. Value that person's feelings, value that person's emotions. If you ain't seen me in 14 hours all day, it should all be all about me. Respect my feelings. Regardless if we sleep in the same bed every night, live with each other. Every day is a new day. It's a new beginning. So, you know what I mean? I respect you and I recognize you as a whole person, not just to get what I want. Period. Anything else? Comments? Anybody have a question they want to throw out there for my 4 remaining viewers?
This is why communication is a big part of anything we talk about. You have to sit down and communicate and listen. And that goes back to what I said in the very beginning. Be quick to hear, slow to speak. That's with anything.
Last but not least, respect for each other is key in submitting your love and trust and strengthen your relationship. Respect for each other. Respect. If you don't respect one another, you not going to trust one another. Also remember, a soft answer turns away. I've been saying that all night, Angel. I've been saying that all night. Proverbs. I've been saying, I can't think of the script. I've been saying it all night. Soft.
So see what she just said? Also remembering a soft answer turns away wrath. A soft answer turns away wrath. Going back to my example earlier, instead of me going in, my answer could have been a soft one to turn away anything else. Just like that's a soft answer turns away wrath. That also lines up with me walking away from the situation or the communication, the heated conversation, to avoid anything escalating even more.
Okay. I just feel like, you know what I mean? Respect is important in a marriage simply because you recognize and you value each other. If you don't recognize and value each other, then it's no sense in even being married. Period. That's just me. That's just for me. You know what I mean? You got it. If it ain't no respect, it ain't no values. So it's like, what do you value in your marriage? If you don't respect your spouse, or you don't listen to your spouse, or you just do disrespectful things. You know, everybody disrespect is different though. Everybody.
But what they feel is disrespectful is different.
Right. Because some people might say, and that's another thing, that's what we go back to. You can't tell a person that's not disrespectful. You can't. If that person feels like that's being disrespectful to him or her, accept it for what it is and respect why they're saying that's disrespectful. That's just like if you walk up out of here and not saying you will, you got some with some cutters, booty hanging all out or whatever. Where you go? That's disrespectful to the marriage.
How?
We ain't in Cancun.
I have a question. So, how is what I have on disrespectful to my marriage? If I'm going out with friends or whatever, how does what I have on determines if I'm being respectful to my marriage or being disrespectful to my marriage when it's clothes?
You ain't valuing with that. All that's for the see is for your husband to see. It ain't for the public to see.
I need somebody in the comments to answer how it's clothes.
That's for your husband to see. You walk up out. That's like me walking up out here. I ain't even gonna say what you don't want me to wear. You stay telling me to take them off.
Right, but I really just be joking with
you don't be playing.
Anyway, the point is, how can what I walk out this house determine if I'm being respectful or disrespectful to my marriage?
Okay, I got it. Ooh, I got it.
No, I
got it. If she walk out this house with them cat cutters on,
that's how you want to be addressed.
Thank you, Angel. Thank you. Let me explain. I got this, sis. I got this. If she walk out this door with them cat cutters on and a man disrespect her, she gonna be like, I'm calling my husband. This nigga ain't
right, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. But how
putting yourself in a disrespectful situation.
But how does that disrespect? I understand that part. That's walking out this house, just like she said, dress how you want to be addressed. Then if I walk out the house with that on, that's telling me if I walk out the house with, as you call them, cat cutters on, that's basically saying I should expect to get disrespected. When I feel and respect my opinion is you should respect somebody regardless of what they got on. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how does what I have on respect or disrespect my marriage?
Why would you walk out with something like that on with all your goods showing? Why?
So the answer is, and yes, I am going to tell you, the answer is the only way it's disrespectful to the marriage is if you say, baby, I would prefer you not to wear that at the house. And I say, I'm wearing it anyway. Then that's disrespecting my marriage. But if I walk out the house with that on and you don't say a word, I'm not going to feel like it's disrespecting this house. I mean, disrespecting our marriage.
You ain't wearing nothing up out here like that.
I can't answer that. I stay.
All right, Misha. You single though.
So the point
you do what
is,
you want.
But I just answered it. I answered my own question. I feel like if I walk out this house with something like that on, and my husband did not say nothing, I'm not disrespecting this marriage. And I'm gonna just use Russell and Sierra. People was making a big deal about her going outside of the house with a see-through, what is it called? A swimsuit covering, but it was see-through. She had on pasties and she had on a thong, or whatever you want to call it. She had that on, but everybody was making a big deal saying that he was less of a man and all type of things because he allowed her to walk out the house like that, not knowing they was going to a Fenty event. I think that's Rihanna's thing where she has a bathing suit line. So all the women came out like that. So people was making a big deal about that. But and I feel like Russell didn't have a problem with that. He didn't feel like she was disrespecting their marriage by walking out the house like that. That's why I was saying, why does clothes, what you wear out the house, determine if I'm just being respectful or disrespectful? And the answer is, if my husband is fine with it, it's not disrespecting our marriage. If my wife is fine with what he wears out the house, that's not disrespecting. But if you walk out the house with something on and I asked you and express to you why I don't want you to wear it, you wear it anyway, then you are disrespecting our marriage.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, tonight's topic is respect within the marriage.
I have one more thing to say.
Okay.
Let me take my sophisticated glasses off because I need y'all to see my face with this. So I think earlier you asked how can respect be restored within a marriage. So my thing is, if you I told y'all several times that communication is gonna always be my answer for everything. But I feel like if you can't communicate with each other, like I said earlier, seek counsel from somebody who's going to tell you not what you want to hear, but the truth. And even if whether it's a friend or anybody, and when they tell you what needs to be said, accept that. Don't try to, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't try to take what they said and flip it around and doing all that. If they come to you, and if they come, if you, I like using me and you as an example. If we going through some things, what is that noise? If we going through some things and we trying to build that respect back, but our communication is trash, but I really want this to work and I really want that respect to come back, and I go to somebody else, I need to go to that person with an open, whoever I decide to go to, I need to go to them with an open mind and accept what they're telling me instead of going to them with a so-called open mind and then being offended when they tell me something. You can't get offended with the person you went to for advice and they telling you the right thing to do because it's what you really don't want to do. When you go seeking counsel to somebody else, you need to go with an open mind and you need to accept it. Like Angel just said, that's accountability. Yes, it is. It's taking accountability. That goes for men and women. Because you do have some men, you have a few men, some men that has vented to Gregory. You have men that have vented to us. Vented to myself. And what I have said, some have liked it, some haven't liked it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'm only going to tell you the truth based off of my own experiences. Gregory is only going to tell you the truth based off of his experiences. You have to be willing to accept it.
I always say the truth hurt a lot, Scott. If a person ain't willing to accept the truth, like she said, coming to you for your answer and your opinion and your advice, then it don't make no sense. I'm learning, like when people come to me, I'm gonna hear them out first. I'm gonna ask them out the dump. You want a raw nut cut, or you just want you want a baby bottle? Because the truth is the truth. You know what I mean? It might not be your truth, or you might don't accept it. I'm just gonna give you real talk, man, straight up. You know what I mean? Like respect goes a long way with me in any relationship, not just in marriage. You know what I mean? That goes a long way. You know, Angel said something earlier I won't speak on, but at a point in my life, I feel like that about some people too. You know what I mean? I don't respect them, but I feel like I could depend on them. But then at the same time, I'm like, man, I don't want to mess with you like that. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like you just got an open match, but you know, respect, man. Respect one another. Respect what you have. If you value that person, you're gonna respect that person. If you value that marriage, or you really want to be in that marriage, you're gonna respect him or her, whoever it may be. You know what I mean? Because respect goes a long way in a household too. If your kids see you being disrespectful, they're gonna be disrespectful.
Ha, I'm glad you said that. Nicole said, hold on. She said, that is true. However, you have to keep in mind who you are going to and who is coming to you, because some people do not want to hear, but just want you to listen. That is very true. You should be able to tell someone the truth and not tell them what they want to hear, because all that would do is hinder them in the long run. You're exactly right.
No, keep that up there. You should be able to tell someone the truth and not tell them what they want to hear, because I don't agree with that.
Because, I mean, you don't agree with which part?
She said you should be able to tell someone the truth and not tell them what they want to hear, because all that would do is hinder them in the long run.
So what she basically saying is, if somebody come to you for advice and they tell you all the things that's going wrong and you agreeing with them,
Okay.
that is doing nothing but hindering them instead of telling them the truth, telling them what they need to hear versus what they want to hear.
I'm gonna tell you what you want. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. Don't come to my marriage counseling group. You hear me? When you sit on that couch for that $100 an hour, I'm gonna give it to you raw and uncut. You hear me?
Glasses back on.
Yeah. Yeah, marriage counseling. Yeah. Raw and uncut. She gonna be nice to you. You know, you got the good cop, bad cop. She gonna be nice to you.
I'm not. There's a couple people on here that know that I'm not nice. Good when cop, it comes. I am the good cop, and he is the bad cop. But when it comes to certain people, and let me just say this: certain people, I will straight up tell them, just like
off with their head.
Hush, hush. Let me say this right quick. So there are certain people that earlier this week, one of my friends, I had to give it to her straight up, and I had to tell her, "Look, dog, you." But there's other people that I'm gonna be like. And while they're talking, I'm listening to them. But I also, even though I just said earlier, don't do this, I'm also got in my head like, now you know, doggone well, but I'm saying it to myself instead of telling them, now you know, doggone well. However, I don't know. So what I'm basically saying is, I'm getting to the point to where everybody is getting the bad person out of me.
It's not so much as the bad person. For me, it's just being raw.
That's right.
Because it's like when you sugarcoat, I feel like people sugarcoat things when it comes to certain situations. Me, I don't want my sugarcoat hurting me so I can feel that what you are saying. Because if I came to you, I want you to just be real with me. Look, Negro, you tripping, dog. Straight up.
Right. And that's the kind of talking I want too. Don't come. That's why we move like we move. We both prefer somebody. I don't want no yes women around me, because them yes people would like Nicole said, those yes people are the ones going to tell you what you want to hear. And I'm so glad we just said that, because I also want to talk to the women. Lord Jesus, why is this conversation going this way? Why the women, married women who are hanging, spend all their time with the single women who are not speaking life into you when it comes to your marriage. Now that may sound crazy, because a lot of people will sit up and say, a single woman can't speak life into my marriage. But for some reason, I don't agree with it, because I have some single women in my group of friends who will tell me when I'm slacking, or if I come to, like, say I'm gonna use Misha for example. If Misha has been one of the friends with past relationship and his current relationship that knows a lot that has went on, and Misha, I can honestly say, even though she's single, she has been one of the ones that'll be like, Naisha, you out of line. Naisha, you know you need to do this. Naisha, you know you wrong. You need to do what you need to do in your marriage. But I'm not speaking on those. I'm speaking on the women who don't do that. If you don't have these friends in your friends in your circle who don't get on you when you doing wrong, then you need to remove yourself from them. Because there's also married women who not gonna tell you to do the right thing. So you just need to be mindful of the people you hang with and mindful of the people who say they're your friend.
Disrespectful.
Because I don't want nobody around me who see me doing wrong, who see me slipping up and not correcting me. Especially as much as I brag on this one. So I just say, if a person is willing to let you fail, they do not love you. Love is correction. God rebukes, corrects those he loves. Exactly. Nicole said exactly. You saying sugarcoating. That is why we shouldn't tell them just what they want to hear. Give them all the real deal.
That's me, man. You come to me. A lot of people come to me. Here we are. I mean, I ain't working for 14 hours. A lot of people come to me for advice on certain things. You know what I mean? It ain't just about relationship. It's all type of stuff. You know what I mean? And I always ask them off the dump, how do you want it? She'll tell you that. My line be blowing up. I'm like, I gotta do my counseling. Real rap. You know what I mean? This ain't no sugarcoat. This real rap. When you call me and ask me for my advice, especially when it got to do with respecting your spouse, I'm going in. She'll tell you, I goes in. We have to do things in love, though, too. And also in transparency. Nobody wants to deal with someone that acts like they never messed up. Well.
That part.
Angel boy. Say. See, that's what I'm talking about.
So what she's saying?
I know what she's saying.
Well, I'm gonna break it down. We have to do things in love, which means when you even though we giving raw and uncut, do it from doing it in a place of love,
right?
Not in a place of or not in a place of I told you so type of stuff.
I don't never hear nobody with that I told you so, because I don't like that I told you so. I learned that from Miss I Told You Not. But it's always out of love, though. You know what I mean? Love is hard too sometimes. A lot of people today in this era, they are real soft. Any little thing you do, they feelings hurt, or they feel like they disrespected. So I tell people, one of my brothers at church told me, he said, man, I like your rawness. My job even told me that. They say your rawness can hinder you sometimes because it's strong, but it's truthful. And I'm like, if you can't handle the truth, then don't suppress me, because I'm gonna give it to you raw, because that's how it's always been given to me raw. It might hurt me, but I'm like, that's what I needed. And I'm about to, get back in my groove or whatever. So, you know what I mean? Back to respect. I don't like you, but I'm gonna respect you. And that's all I have for the night.
Within a marriage? Because that statement.
Oh, I like my wife. I tell it all the time. I stay telling you, babe, I like you.
But you just said, I don't have to like you, but I respect you.
That's
but
all
we're talking about marriage.
Respecting a marriage. I respect my wife. I like my wife. I always tell her that. I got this thing that I've been doing. I pick up on cues. Every day I tell her something. I ain't gonna give up my thing, because everybody got their own thing. But, I affirm my wife every day. Every single day I affirm my wife. And that's when you show respect. It's different affirmations, but it's one thing that I stay saying. People always tell me this, but I stay telling her this though. They like, but I respect my wife, man. I'm encouraging the married folks out there tonight to respect your spouse, man. If it's something going wrong in your marriage or your relationship, you're married, single, divorced, engaged, baby daddy, widow, shacking up, whatever it be, man. If you lost respect in that relationship, I'm encouraging to get it back, man. Go back to what you valued in the beginning. of that relationship when you found respect for that person.
Right. So to summarize everything we've talked about tonight, I feel like the keys for respecting a marriage is number one, listening, which means practice active listening to show respect to your spouse. The second one is affirm, let them know that they matter. Let them know that they matter. The next one is emphasize, which means you might not understand it, but you can respect it. The next one is, did we really talk about this? I think so. Disagree respectfully. Don't insult any opinions or ideas if you disagree with them. Instead, acknowledge your common ground before sharing your side. The next one is apologize. It shows a great deal of maturity and respect. If you mess up, a single "I'm sorry" goes a long way. Don't make excuses for it. The next one, the last one is show gratitude. We didn't even talk about the gratitude part. Being thankful for for everything that you do around here. Telling you, baby, I thank you. I appreciate you for your hard work. I tell you that every day. Thank you for everything you do around the house. I appreciate this. So that's a form of gratitude, showing your spouse that you appreciate them and you see them. It's that simple. Let your spouse know that you see them. You love them, you cherish, you appreciate everything that they're doing. And that's all that I have as well. Anything else, baby?
No, that's it, baby.
Anything else in the comments? If not, thank you all for tuning in tonight. This was a great conversation. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Angel, for chiming in on the live real quick to give us your take on the respect and trust in the same sentence. I appreciate that. Before we leave, I do want to got a couple of announcements. So on April 8th, we are going bowling. I'm practicing my strike game because I'm gonna strike him out as many times as I can. So I keep saying May. April 8th, we're going bowling from 5 to 7. The flyer has been shared. I need you all couples to go on there and go there, book them tickets. Look, y'all, this is gonna have a fun time. I cannot wait. Then the next one is May 13th. The Angel Mind Foundation. We are doing a painting. They're going to Atlanta. Bring me something back. So we going May 8th. The Angel of Mind Foundation is having a painting social for the mothers. So you can also book your tickets for that. And then there was one more.
Oh, we're gonna have our virtual online game night again. Dates to be disclosed.
Well, no, that's March. So that's on the website. So April 21st, we're gonna do another virtual game night. So April 8th is bowling. May 13th, the Angel of Mind Foundation doing a Mother's Day painting the sip. So all you mothers, this is for mothers only. Champs of Women.
You like virtual all night.
Right. And then our second virtual night will be April 21st. That is a Friday. Okay. Both of those events, the bowling and the virtual is on the website. The website is www.helpmeexperience.com. I'm so happy y'all. The website is up and I'm steady adding to it. Okay. And then, of course, every Thursday night, 8:30, we right back here every week.
If y'all have anything y'all would like for us to discuss, feel free to inbox her or inbox myself.
Or if you got a number, you can shoot us a text.
So, these topics, we think about ourselves first before we come to the people. Like I said, our slogan is help us, help you, so we can help somebody else. And that's all for the night, folks. Good night.
Bye. Wait.